Hello, and welcome to this week's Minecraft update video. So we're actually starting off in Peter and my stepdad's storage room, and I'm actually going to show you something that I noticed the other day while I was playing. It was just this. I was just stealing some ore, and some materials like I normally do, and I just was like, I went to use the furnace, and I was like, what's this? And then I looked down and I saw some glass, and I was like, okay, this is weird. Came down here, and I saw like a tube, basically a glass tube, and I was like, I wonder where that goes. So I came down here, and this is actually my stepdad's and mine. So I'm just going to come underneath. I always have a problem with doors, and I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to jump down here, and I'm not going to die, I promise. Awesome. And I saw this, and I was like, I wonder what this is. And it's actually a bubble elevator, and it's not something that I'm actually really familiar with, but I believe this was built by my stepbrother. And, he's put a nice little message here, don't forget to breathe, always good, don't want anyone dying. And what this actually is it's a faster method of actually getting up. Instead of going up a ladder, this is actually a lot quicker. And apart from the false start that you just saw there, that is significantly quicker than climbing a ladder. So I'm going to be implementing those in basically every mine shaft that I ever build from now on. And I believe you just need to put sandstone at the bottom and it will just turn it into a bubble elevator. I think that's what they're called. And so I just thought I'd show that off in case no one else knew that, because I've been playing Minecraft for 9 years and I didn't know what they were. Anyway, so I'm actually coming up to Peter's Victorian manor house, and I'm actually going to show you what he's actually done inside. So obviously before it was completely empty, and so some interior has been done. And as you can see, he's built a really nice grand staircase, which matches well with the hodgepodge palette that's actually on the outside as well. And if you come up here, it hides the wooden pillars that I was so critical of before. So you can see there's some here. And if you come, this isn't 100% done, as you can see, not finishing off one side instead of the other. But as you can see, some more wooden struts and stuff that have been actually made into the, the roof. So obviously this isn't 100% done, but this is really nicely already just made that whole house look a lot less empty. Some really, I didn't actually notice this, a really nice glass floor as well. So I just thought I'd mention that. Health and safety is not a primary issue, apparently. You can just jump all the way down here. And through here is actually what my stepsister's been working on. And this is actually a princess island, would you believe? I actually thought it was a Japanese shogun, flower house, like in Mulan, with that reflection song. I'm not gonna sing it. I was gonna sing it for you guys then, but I'm not going to put your eardrums through that. But it's actually a princess island, and pink, I guess. But at the moment, it's mainly dominated by these trees, and these trees are actually handcrafted, and they're really good. This is the newest one, and I think this is actually meant to be you can actually jump on the top, and I'm actually just going to scoff a pumpkin pie and hope that that's not the last food I have. It is not. I have some cooked chicken, awesome. But you can see here, the design of the different colours with the glass and stuff. It looks really good, and this is all natural, remember? And we've also got a new bridge, which is with the granite block that I believe she likes, which is obviously closest to pink. But this is really cool. I really like this, and I'm hoping. I'm looking forward to seeing what is done with this area, because I believe. Well, I don't know actually, but I'm hoping that she builds some buildings on here that are really pretty and princessy. It's basically an island if you ignore that bit. And so now we're going to go on to the main thing that my stepdad Peter's been building this week, and it's actually like a shopping district basically, or like a row of shops. And you can see here. Not just one shop, not just two shops, but I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There you go, I can count to 12. Brilliant. But 12 shops, and you can see here, the detailing is really clever because you've got a very clean colour palette with all the different colours, and then you've got like a messy wall and then floor, which adds a lot of detail, and it looks really good. And as you can see, a lot of it's not 100% furnished, but I believe it's a work in progress. But you can see here, I really like how you can see through the windows and stuff. And then if you come down here, this actually really nicely blends in with the lower canal bit. And you can see here, it actually juts down. So it's like almost 3 stories at the back, whereas it's 2 stories in the main bit. And he's actually done a really good job of using some of the new blocks. I didn't actually realize there was a purple door now, which is interesting. You can see here, this is almost like a cafe with I don't know quite what is in there, but a glass, so you can see maybe that's where they cook it, and it's one of those gourmet ones where you watch the person cook your meal. So it's just, I really like as well that it's like overhanging and it's busy, and at the moment it's a village and it's basically turning into a town. But stuff like this makes it really feel like a city where everything is over the top of each other and it's really cramped, but in a really good way. And I feel like not a problem, but something that we've had with this area is it's quite sparse, which I think it works, but when you expand, you need to sort of build a lot tighter together, and I think this really works. And this isn't 100% done. I will show you guys when it is 100% finished. But I really like what's going on with that so far. And then we're going to come up to, obviously I showed you the gatehouse that I did last week, but I've actually finished well, not 100% finished, but I've done a lot more terraforming. So you can remember this was completely, I basically drained the river, which was usually just a strip. And basically what I've done is I've digged all the way down, and then I've placed back the dirt in what I perceive as to be a natural way. And then I've obviously filled it back up with water. But you can see here, it's not 100% done because I still need to actually add the gate. Okay, I keep thinking those leaves are enemies. But you can see underneath there, that's the original canal thing. And it's basically, I'm just going to swim under here. It's now turned into, you literally can't see anything with this water, a secret tunnel. As I really slowly, I wasn't even swimming there. So you can see, why couldn't I get through there? So you can see here, this is a tunnel that comes out towards the prison. And now it's basically hidden, which I think is pretty cool. So I'm going to now come up. Why am I like... I don't really understand swimming in this game. So I'm going to come up here. Just build some dirt. Right, now we're going to come on to another one of my stepsisters' builds. And this looks like a quarry. And it looks like a quarry because it is a quarry, but it is also something else. And you can see here, this actually goes down to bedrock. And you can actually see there's some slime blocks down there, which makes it really interesting. But this obviously just looks like a crane. Well, looks like it is a crane. And obviously this is where they store the rock and stuff that's obviously been taken from there. And I really like that. Some interesting window designs are, effective. Mobs can't get through them. But what this actually is also is a really cool trampoline. So I'm actually going to test it out. And you can see the height from jumping at this distance, the height you get. And what I'd be actually interesting is to do like a, if you build this up to the build limit, which is 256, and then jump down, I'd be interested to see how high you actually get. So maybe like a trampoline or something. Obviously, it would be ridiculously high, and I'd only probably have it up for a very limited time because it would be an eyesore. But I'd be really interested to see how high you bounce back up. And this actually opens up to the skeleton farm that I showed you in the first series world tour. Sorry, but I didn't actually come down here, so you can see here. Originally, you got through like this one by one, and it was really slow. So I'm really happy that my stepsister's done this because it's just a really fun and easy way of getting down here. So this is the skeleton farm. Basically, just going to quickly show you. It's through here, and so the skeletons will spawn in a second, normally in groups of 4, if they want to spawn for me. If not, that's absolutely fine. There you go. So groups of 3. So try not to get shot. Got shot anyway, and they all get dragged down there. I'm going to just close that back up, and then they get shooting up into here. Comes up about 14 or 15 blocks. Takes them along again, and then they shoot down, and then they fall down here. And that one actually died, even though it shouldn't kill them. Yeah, so here you go. And then they basically just become one hit, and you don't have to ruin your durability. And then this is where we store all the stuff. And someone has very kindly gone through all of these chests and, sorted them all out. And I'm very unhelpfully just shove things in because I'm lazy. And, if you just sit here for 30 minutes, you'll basically get from 0 to 30 really quick. So it's actually really solved our leveling issues. And now I'm going to show you the prison. So I will be right back with the magic of editing. So we're coming up to the prison, which I showed you in the first episode, but I didn't actually go into it. And it's actually been turned into our trading hub. So before we just used to let the traders just wander around, and it became a real nightmare to pinpoint the one trader that you've leveled up to master. So we've decided that, you can still see some villagers around here, but I mean, I was going to say that doesn't have a job, but he's obviously escaped. So obviously maybe the prison isn't 100% as secure as it should be. But if you just come through here, and it's got, 2 iron doors, so they should be able to get through. And you can see here, this is obviously where we trade. And so it's just a really good idea to get all of these in one area and, trade with them. And, I don't really trade, so I'm not really sure how many. I mean, that looks a bit weird, but a lot of llamas. I don't know why. Obviously, their master villaging trader just isn't here, but just a lot of llamas for some reason. But you can see, this was set up by my stepsister and my stepdad Peter, I believe. But you can see it's basically just, what's this? Oh, it's the inside of the. Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's basically just efficiency, so we're not wandering around trying to find villagers to trade with. And I did actually do something on the server this week, so I'm now going to show you that, and then I'm going to show you the map wall that I promised to show you in the first 2 videos and forgot to. So yeah, I'll be right back. So we're now coming up to what I've been doing this week on the server, and it's actually, I obviously mentioned last week that I was doing some gardening, and I also showed you the road that actually was left. You can see here I've done a lot of work. So I originally started by building this road that I'm actually quite happy with, and then I built some streetlights on it and stuff. And then, the first thing I actually did was I've terraformed the path, as you can see here. Obviously, before it was just empty, so I've terraformed that. But I've also, basically, this is meant to be the poor district, but the houses don't really look that poor. So I've just basically just made it one of the entrances to the town. But you can see here, I've got some really nice houses. I'm actually really happy with these designs. They're quite simple, but I mean, this is actually the biggest house, ironically, even though it looks the smallest. If you come, you've got some nice letterboxes, some nice detailing around like the edges. I've become a button fanatic. Blame my stepdad. It just adds, it's just some really nice detail, but some of these I'm really happy with. So what I did was I actually just built the same house, the same shape, but I've built the roof in the same way, but it's just made two completely different houses. So you can see they're both both exactly the same shapes, but the roof has just made them look completely different. And so you can see they just look really good. But the only issue with them is the interior is a bit stifling. I'd be a bit unhappy if I bought this as a property, to be honest. I think this one is slightly less. No, this one actually is better because of the way the roof works. You've sort of got a two-story here, whereas in the other one it doesn't really work. But this isn't finished. I've got some so this is meant to be some towels that you're hanging, some clotheslines. This needs finishing. I'm going to add some garden decorations and stuff. And you're coming up to here, and this is actually the original, and this is actually a watermill, and then this is a cart. So this is one of the entrances to the city, and this is going to get upgraded. I'm going to sort of build it up a little bit like my gatehouse, but this is obviously the entrance to the village, and I'm going to build a road, but you'll come through here, and then you see here, the traders have basically put off their wagons, and you can see I'm going to put some barrels down here and stuff. But this is actually the watermill as well. Obviously, you saw the original. I don't know if I showed this last week, but so this is the watermill, and I just think it looks really cool. It doesn't really look like the actual house itself doesn't really look like a watermill, but I am really happy with it. And you can see here I've just done some, naturalization and making hiding of light sources and stuff, and I think it looks really cool. And that's actually it for this week. It's not been a quieter week. It's been a week, so obviously it's less stuff's going to be built. But I haven't forgotten. I'm going to end this week's episode on the map wall, the long-awaited map wall that I haven't shown yet. So we will go to that right now. And we're coming up to the promised map wall that I've been telling you about for the last 2 episodes, and I keep forgetting to show it. And you can actually see here. So this is actually the full map wall, and it's basically the entire town. You can see it actually outlines further than the town. You can see my stepsister's base, and then the original mine that I showed you in the first week world tour. But this is actually the full town, and you can see my mansion, my church, Peter's Victorian house, his new street area, the barn, the gatehouse. This actually looks really nice on the thing. But what we're going to do, what I've basically been using this for is planning the areas without having to look overhead. So you can sort of see why we're not expanding to the south because of this horrible swamp. I'm going to do something with the Nether, I think, in this. And maybe I was thinking this area here, I basically turn it into the Nether hub. And it looks like the Nether's trying to escape into the real world. I'm not 100% sure. But this is sort of my area to the south, and then the east. That is the east. Remember, north, east, southwest, never eat shredded wheat. That's how I remember. But we're also not going to expand to the. I was going to call it the east, even though I just said it was the west, because of this mountain area, except for my stepsister's base, of course. So I believe everyone else is sort of expanding to the north, and then I'm sort of taking over the south and the west. I can't believe. You can tell I don't know north, east, west, south. Basically, I'm going to be doing the south and the east. There we go. Words, get them out. But yeah, so I thought I'd end the episode on that. Or maybe we're going to go on to the north, and eventually we're going to turn this into a dock and stuff. But I thought I'd show you this because it's a really cool way of planning your projects and stuff, and sort of working out where everything's going to go. Anyway, that's been this week's episode. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again next week. Stay safe and have a good one.